guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is entitled House Guests. I don't post much on Reddit and I'm always on mobile, so there may be formatting errors, but here goes. A few months back, my wife and I offered my driveway to a married couple we have known for a decade to park their RV. They had been trying to move from Michigan to California and said that was the only obstacle they had, finding somewhere to park. Fast forward to the day they arrived. They came in a U-Haul with 6 cats, 2 dogs at 2 a.m. and brought their mattress in. It was 2 a.m. and I was tired and confused and figured we would discuss it in the morning. We all sit down to discuss it and we agree they can stay a few months. Really, I should have been more specific, I suppose. 4 months later and I see no signs of them trying to move out. They both got jobs, but I'm left cleaning up after the cats and dogs that are destroying my house. They also hadn't been keeping up basic cleaning. Dishes left in their room or in the sink for days, poop all over the toilet bowl. So we all sit down to talk again, about cleanliness, about when they're moving out. And that's when it gets ugly. They start yelling at me for micromanaging them and treating them like children. After an unfruitful conversation where they accused me of lying, saying they told me about the animals and the lack of a trailer and screamed at me for my impossible standards, I just gave up. We gave them 3 weeks to get out. They haven't spoken to me since. I am so utterly frustrated with how entitled they act. I offered up my home and asked for literally nothing in return but cleanliness. No rent or bills have been paid by them. I literally just asked that they keep the house as clean as it was when they moved in. And yet I'm still the villain in their story, for not giving them enough time to buy a house in an impossible market, on minimum wage. I suppose this is a little bit ranty. 1 week left and I can't wait for them to be gone. The next story is titled Almost Got Banned for Something I Didn't Do. I'll start by saying that I have a baby face and have always been mistaken for someone who's very young, even after graduating high school. As well as have random people approach me asking if I remember them from so and so, cause I always get mistaken for someone they know from somewhere else. Also during this incident, most people might say he had just made a mistake, but the way he spoke to me even after I told him he's make a mistake, he refused to believe me and even started making claims of theft. When the actual shoplifter was also in the store taking things. I had stopped at Walmart to buy myself a quick lunch for work. Note I'm still wearing my teal color themed uniform shirt from my job that reads House Depot Cashier Appreciation Month, black slacks and shoes, along with a purple cap that also has the same logo and store name written on it, while wearing my black one-shoulder work bag that I use to carry my work-related things and lunch. I had just paid for everything and was heading for the exit, when a security guard stops me and asks to check my things, which I let him and even held out my receipt to prove that I had paid for everything. Security 1. Have you paid for everything yet? Me. Still holding my receipt. Yes, here it is right here, you can look it over if you like. Security 1. How do I know it's not a fake one or from a different store? Me. Because I just finished paying for it, and if you ask that cashier over there who rang me up, she can tell you I paid for everything. Security 1. I'm asking because I've gotten reports that there have been theft around here lately and the report matches your description. Me. I've shopped here sometimes by myself, but most times I come here with my family and I've never stolen anything from here or from any store. Besides, today was the only time I was available to stop by to get lunch. Security 1. I was told you were in the store yesterday night. Me. Confused. I wasn't here last night, I was at home all day. Security 1. If you keep bad-mouthing me, I'll have you banned from this store. Now unload your bag and give back all the things you just taken off the shelves now. Me. I'm telling the truth. If you want to go through my bag and check, I'm not going to stop you, but I haven't stolen anything from the store. I just got off work and came in here to be you. Security 1. I've had enough of your BS. I've been here all day and I've seen you repeatedly come in and exit the store with your bag loaded with things that you didn't pay for. I'm calling the cops to have you arrested and getting management to have you banned permanently. I tried to reason with him, but he processed to ignore me and radios over management as well as another security 2 to detain me. They reach me and they ask what's happening. Security 1. I've caught the shoplifter you told me about. Me. I'm not shoplifting, I'm just buying lunch for work. I've got the receipt to prove that I haven't stolen anything. Manager. May I see the receipt? I had him the receipt, which Security 1 claims as a fake and refuses to believe I wasn't lying, whilst Security 2 was double-checking and matching everything in my bag with the receipt. Manager. Everything in her bag matches up with the receipt, she's not lying or shoplifting, please stop restricting her from leaving. Security 1. But I swear I saw her walking in and out of the store all day and even the past few days. Me. I already told you the past few days have been either at home or college, and today was the only day I was available to stop by to get lunch, and I've clearly not been walking in and out if I'm still in uniform. This made the Security 1 fall silent for saying, she's clearly lying now, she just said she was here all day and now she's claiming she was at work. Security 2. No, that's what you said, she's only said that she hadn't been available to come here the past few days and up till just now. Manager. If you've seen who's been shoplifting all day, why didn't you bother to stop them or report them and just now decided to step in? Security 1 was about to say something else, when manager stops him due to a call over the radio about needing security and management near the back of the store. Manager has Security 1 go with him to see what the disturbance is and Security 2 say with me to hear my side of the story. After they walked away, I tell my side of the story, and as I finished, I get a text from my dad asking why I'm not home yet, to which I speak to my dad and he tells me he's coming to pick me up. After this, Security 1 and manager are dragging a struggling maybe high school age girl with a backpack full of electronics and more, dressed in loose clothes and tan pants with a pink cap, as well as a few cop cars pulling up behind us. I assume maybe were called when they caught her. After manager and Security 1 finished speaking to the cops and the girl was taken away, Security 2 confirms my story and Security 1 tries to walk away as quickly as he could. Manager stops him and asks him to apologize to me, which he did, and manager told me I was allowed to leave and not banned from the store. As I stepped outside of the store, my dad pulls up and I told him everything was already stored out. He didn't ask much and just took me home. A few days later I was there shopping again with my parents and Security 1 was no longer there, and I'm not surprised if he was fired for making false claims as well as threatening someone for a crime they didn't comment. The next story is titled Am I the A-hole for confronting my neighbor who is obviously stealing produce from my garden? This spring a young woman, let's call her Kristen, moved into the house next door to me. She owns some sort of catering business for weddings and runs an Instagram account about food. We live in a semi-remote area about 15 minutes outside of a small town. During pandemic I got very into gardening and love my thriving vegetable and herb garden. I tend to it very carefully and I love that I can feed my husband and kids with food I have grown. This summer, produce has begun disappearing. Some of my tomatoes, squash, eggplants and herbs will disappear overnight. I see no signs of animals chewing them. No vegetables disappeared from my garden last summer. Obviously, someone is taking them. Kristen is the nearest house to mine. The other nearest are a bit of a walk down the road, and she is right next door, and I find it very suspicious that they began disappearing right after she moved in. I even checked her Instagram and see her posting photos of food this very week featuring the exact produce that's gone missing from my garden: tomatoes, zucchini, eggplant, herbs. I confronted her about this yesterday evening, and she became very, very defensive. She said I was crazy and that she had no reason to steal from me as there is a farmer's market right down the road and she grows her own windowsill herbs and has a supplier for her business. She even had the audacity to brag about how much money she makes, saying that her business brings in good money and that she would have no need to steal. From her defensiveness and this level of bragging, it seems obvious to me that she is lying. Things got ugly and she slammed her door in my face, which to me seems like further proof of guilt. Am I the a-hole? Should I have gone about this differently? She is clearly stealing from me and clearly lying about it. Comment said you should have put up cameras and gotten proof that she was stealing from you. You the a-hole because you started accusing her without any proof. Another comment said you the a-hole. That's a pretty strong, relationship-destroying accusation without proof. And depending on where you live, that combo of veggies is currently in season and available in great abundance. You don't know what she's growing at the moment. You should put up a camera, don't tell her, and apologize. Then let the camera do its work. The next story is titled You Are the Director So Pay. Over 15 years ago I was working part-time at my local college. I have a degree in animation and was excited to be hired by the local council to do an animation about the danger of alcohol to kids. I was the sole animator for a 2D cartoon that would run, I vaguely remember, about 20 to 30 minutes. I informed them that it will take a long time to make as I can only decide 3 days a week to work on it along with my other job. So stupidly I started working on it, attending meetings to discuss the storyboard which they wanted me to produce. I also stupidly didn't get anything in writing about my duties or how much they would pay me. I thought they are a council, surely they won't mess me about, and it was a great opportunity. They also wanted the animation to cut to a live action bit. I happily gave ideas through the storyboard. I set to work creating the characters, animatic and couple of scenes. After a couple of months sent them the progress. They said it looked good but it was taking a long time to make. I reminded them yes it would, as I am the only animator working part-time. A couple of days after that they hit me with an email saying that they found people for the live footage segment and when will I send the money for their train tickets. There was about 20 people and kids from a city over 100 miles away. I was utterly confused and asked them to explain. Was told that I am the director and was expected to pay for all expenses for the actors' travel and get the film equipment. My jaw hit the floor hard. I couldn't believe what I had read. Immediately informed them that I never agreed to be the director, just the animator, and I am not providing the funding. They then informed me that as was a shame and if I wasn't happy they can find someone else. I immediately told them okay, find someone, and that I quit. I never received a single penny for that council for my time and I didn't pursue the matter. I was so stressed out and upset at myself for getting into a stupid situation that I wanted to completely cut them out. I was so downhearted that I avoided producing any creative work for a couple of years. At the time it felt that my work wasn't good enough. Instead I focused on my other job and became a full-time teacher. When I take on any work I have everything in writing with pricing and a upfront deposit and tell many students to always do the same. Anyone can scam you. If they really want your skills they can pay for it. The next story is titled Tell Me to Ignore You? No problem. A few years ago, I took a winter retail job to make some extra money. I met a woman there all called Destiny. We would chat when it was slow, grab food on breaks, that sort of thing. When her friend Eve started soon after, things got weird. Eve never liked me and I'm not sure why. I was always pleasant to her. One day Destiny came to me and said Eve was getting jealous that the two of us were friends. Readers, we are women in our 30s. Not 15. Destiny said if all three of us were working it would be better for you to do your thing, and we'll do ours. Okay then. Shortly before I quit, we had a cold snowy night. Instead of waiting for the bus, I decided to get a cab. They are few and far between on these cold eves, and the phone line stays busy. Same for Uber, it's not as easy to get one as it is in many cities. It's better to flag one down as this is a busy road. I soon spotted Destiny and Eve huddled together, walking out the door of the shop. I realized I had to beat them to a cab. I speed walked one street up and saw a magical vision, a free taxi driving towards me. I took my time getting in as they both stared at me from down the road. As the cab drove past, I looked at them with a blank expression. I know it's not huge revenge, but I like to hope it took them a long time to see another cab. The next story is titled Take Advantage of Me and Pay for Years. I worked in a country store several years ago. We had a hot bar where we served breakfast and lunch daily. Basic items: eggs, bacon, sausage, fried chicken, chicken strips, and things like that. When the health inspector would come in, he'd lie and blame us knowing it was his own fault for things like mislabeled products. He was the one who created the labels for us to put on the products. Somehow, he'd always skate by with a passing inspection despite all the problems found. I became friendly with the health inspector over time and managed to get her direct contact information. I went above and beyond for this man. I'd take deposits to the bank when he didn't have time or was out of town. I'd pick up supplies in another city when our usual person wasn't able to. It was never enough for this man. I had run the business for months while he looked for a manager. One day he accuses me of stealing a coffee drink $2.50 and I lost it. I shoved my receipt in his face and walked out. I was so angry and hurt after all that I had done for him. I knew my leaving would mean nothing to him, always another sucker looking for a job. So, I did the only thing I could think of to get back at him. I started calling the health inspector. I initially called about things we had successfully hidden from her. Boom, a surprise inspection. I'd call and say the drink fountain nozzles had mold in them. Boom, another inspection. I did this monthly for over a year when a friend of mine became manager and asked me to stop. When she quit, guess what, back to calling. It has now been almost 10 years and I live over 1,500 miles away, but still every couple months I throw a call to the health inspector. The next story is titled My Wife's Car Got Broken Into at a Hotel. It was parked in the way back of the hotel. I know the hotel was not responsible for this, and I was 99.9% sure the girl behind the front desk didn't do it herself. So I politely explained that I just wanted to let her know my car had been broken into. Nothing was gone. I wasn't calling the cops or anything, just wanted to kind of report it, I guess. Her response caught me totally off guard. She said, with true empathy, "OMG. That was your guy's car? But you're so nice." I always thought it was weird until I found this sub. I can't believe how awful people are. In the end the girl comped me a night, which was pretty much equal to the cost of the window anyway, and I asked her if I could park in super mega ultra platinum parking for the rest of my stay. Then I called corporate to let them know I was appreciative of the customer service and they gave me enough bonus points for another night. There's an old saying about catching more flies with honey than vinegar. I'm not sure why people don't understand that. The next story is titled The Cat Inside the Storage Room. Working at an exterior hotel means we see a lot of animals hanging around. We get the occasional deer wandering around at night and very rarely do we see raccoons. We also have a couple of cats that hang around the property as well. Very recently, 2 weeks ago, one of the cats let me pet her and ever since then she's been following me and my coworker around. We started feeding the cat and she's usually perched up by the window so she's able to look at us throughout our shifts. We recently hired a new front desk clerk and today was her first shift alone. I came in almost an hour ago and asked if the cat was around and she proceeded to tell me that she saw one of the owners open the storage room by the lobby, saw the cat walk in, and then saw the owner close the door. The cat was left inside. I saw red immediately. I asked her why she didn't tell anyone so we could get the cat out and she didn't really have an answer. The cat is for sure there because she saw her through the window. The storage room is an empty apartment. I find my coworker eventually and I ask if he's able to pick the lock because none of us have keys and he says he's unable to pick that specific lock and now I'm even more upset. I'm also concerned that it might get hot in there for the cat. IDK how long she's been locked in there but she probably hasn't had food or water today and I'm anxious and IDK what to do. I'm just mad that the new girl didn't tell any of the owners that there's a cat stuck in there. I might pick the lock honestly. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.